Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. It's really a simple card. The only thing that would make it not a simple stamping card would be I die cut this little bow, but you don't have to put that on there. So let's get started. The supplies I'm going to use are a 1 3/8 by 3 3/4 piece of Whisper White, a piece of gold which is 1 5/8 by 4, it's a gold foil, forgot to write down the measurement on this one, it's 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 of black, a piece of strip of gold foil which is 3/4 by 4, a small piece of designer series paper from the Golden Honey Specialty Designer Series paper. It's part of this piece. So I'm just going to cut out one of these little teeny tiny bees. Another little scrap of the gold foil to cut the bow out with. A piece of the Designer Series paper which is 4 by 5 1/4. And then the card base is the gold foil edge cards. Note card and envelope. Okay. The stamp set is Inspiring Iris. I'm going to use the carnation today. The 3 pieces of the carnation. And then I'm going to use the hello from A Big Thank You. And then the special day dies. The ones that cut out the little animals. It has these 2 little bows in there. And I used one of those to cut out that bow. But you don't have to do that. You could just tie a little ribbon. That would be fine. This is a little fancy. And then I used a couple of the holiday rhinestone jewels. Ink pad, Pear Pizzazz, Melon Mambo, Tuxedo Black, and a pair of scissors. And Tombow Mono multi-glue. And let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and bring in my snips and fussy cut out this bee. And you don't have to go right to the edge. I just did a rough fussy cut. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece and that little bow die and cut it out. And I've already done that for the sake of time. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and adhere this piece of Designer Series paper to the front of our card base. This is what the back side of it is. And this is a Designer Series paper, so make sure you go lightly with the glue. It's pretty nice heavy paper, but you don't want big globs because then you end up with marks. And this is going to have like a 1/8 of an inch border all the way around it. Okay. Not quite straight, but alright. Now we're going to take this gold foil piece, and that's going to go down here in this third. We're going to divide it into thirds. 1, 2, where that third is, we're going to go ahead and adhere that down. Make sure it's straight. At least it appears straight. Okay. I'll put these two aside for a minute. We're going to bring in our white piece. And let me bring in my Stampin' Up. so you can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm going to bring in the outline for the carnation. I'm going to stamp that with the memento. Make sure I get it inked up well. I'm going to stamp that right in the center of this. Perfect. And then I'm going to bring in that little hello. I'm going to stamp that down here at the bottom. Just holding it there for a second so the ink will transfer. Alright, I'm done with the black ink. And we'll come in with the Melon Mambo. And this piece of the carnation. Ink that up. And then we're going to stamp right over this top part. Line it up as best you can. If it doesn't line up perfect, that's fine. It's hard to see. Sort of like a watercolor-ish look anyway. Alright, then I'm going to come in with the Pear Pizzazz and stamp the stem part. I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see a little bit. I apologize if I get my head in the way. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. And we'll bring in this gold piece. We're going to glue this onto the top of there with the multi-purpose glue. You don't want it oozing out. You just want a light layer. Center this on here. It's going to be quite a large layer. Okay. And we're going to bring in our bee and our little bow. Bee, we're going to put on a little baby dimensional. And we're going to adhere it up here in this top up here. The bow, we'll just put a tiniest drop of mono glue at the bottom, back. See the tiniest little drop. I'm going to bring in tweezers. My fingers are clumsy, so. And set this down on the bottom here. That kind of brings your eye around there, the gold. Okay. This one has got layers of the dimensionals behind both. So let's bring in the dimensionals. I'm going to leave them a little bit from the top and the bottom because the black piece is a little bit narrower. And you want to make sure it's going to hit that black layer so it doesn't get a swoop in it. Alright, let's put dimensionals on the back of this one. Don't need as many. Alright. Take those backs off. bring this in. This is going to go over in this third, so we're dividing this into thirds, and it's going to intersect this, where this third and this third. Okay, so it's going to go over here. This piece, take the backs off of that. Oops, I missed it. That's going to go a little bit onto this side. It's going to have like a 1/4 of an inch from this side. But you'll notice how the top and the bottom is a little bit longer than the black piece. Okay, we'll bring in those gems. Bring in the take your pick tool. We'll pick up this large one. Put that right here. There's a couple up here. Let's bring in one of these smaller ones next to that. One more, and I'm just taking the tip of that, pushing it on the gem, and then sort of releasing pressure. And one's going to go over here. There we go. There's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamp, ink, and paper.